I am Professor Dasgupta, Emeritus Professor of Chemistry and the Distinguished Research Fellow of the University, and also I'm the Principal Investigator of the LGG project. Okay, first of all, let me explain the LGG. What is LGG? Is low greenhouse gas emission, and this was actually conceived by the Global Environmental Fund, and they were this is the LGG is the main project, and under this project, the various countries were being given grants to mitigate climate change and increase the energy efficiency. So I and Prof. Clayton applied for the grant from the GEF, and we received 2.31 million US dollar for the um, for two purposes. One is the climate change mitigation and also energy efficiency. So the combined aspects of these two uh, become the creations of the net zero energy building. And so the project, although it has got $2.36 million cash from the GEF, but we have got in-kind contributions from the various stakeholders uh, of amount to 5.1 million US. And university is the largest contributions of these in-kind contributions, and they given the site of the building and also the technical advisory for the project. Well, um, the first of all, you need to understand the inefficiencies of energy inefficiencies of the buildings. Uh, Building contributes 40% of the total energy expenditures. So if the buildings are not efficient, energy efficient, then we are paying a whole heap of money for the energy contributions. And since Jamaica is dependent on fossil fuel contribution, and so there are two things happening. One, we are paying enormous amount of money to purchase the oil, and the second is that we are producing greenhouse gases because of the fossil fuel, and also because of the productions of this greenhouse gas, there will be a more chance of the climate change contribution. So the Jamaica will be benefited if we change the whole energy efficiency of the built environment. Then not only will reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, but also will reduce the climate change, uh, the mitigation also. So the main benefit that we are going to contribute, that by this prototype net energy, net zero energy building, is the um, changing the building code a little bit, and that building code change will uh, enhance the process of the new buildings which are coming as a zero energy building, and also we are going to produce the retrofitting of the existing buildings. The total effect of these things is that we are going to produce nearly um, reduce the gas emission, greenhouse gas emissions, by 20,000 tons of carbon dioxide. And also it will reduce the sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and nitric oxides and other gases, which contributes also along with the carbon dioxide. So, and also we will reduce the enormous amount of energy, uh, uh, the expenditures, and that will reduce the our purchasing power of um, the fossil fuel or oil. So, so what we really want is that two things from the government. One is all the new buildings are to be net zero energy building, and the second thing that the existing buildings will take up the retrofit kit and changes the whole energy efficiency of the buildings. Most important deliverables will be the prototype building, which will be a showcase for the whole Caribbean. This is the first time the Caribbean will have the zero net energy building, and hopefully that will give impetus for the other Caribbean countries to go into their directions. What we want is the Jamaica that all the new buildings they will start zero energy buildings, and our ministers, Minister of Energy, uh, he promised that by from 2050 all buildings will be zero energy building, and that promise, if you government kept, then we will be really in good shape. The other contribution is that if we can contribute to the building code, and that will give a new directions to the architects and engineers to build a new type of buildings which will be much more energy efficient. What we want, at least 40% energy efficient of the building. Now, presently, it is about 10 to 15% energy efficient. So we are losing tremendous amount of energy for the building. Not only new buildings, the net energy buildings will contribute to the reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, which is the purpose of this project. Also, it will reduce the water consumptions tremendously. That's what we also want. Up till now, we have got pretty good response from our stakeholders and also from the various industry and governmental organizations in terms of the benefit which they will get from the net energy, zero energy building, as well as retrofitting solution. Especially the Ministry of Housing and the Ministry of Commerce and Industries, they were very much a bit about the our retrofit contribution to the NHT building, and this is a big public building, and we are contributing quite significantly towards the energy efficiency, to increase the energy efficiency of that building. We're hoping that once we finished retrofitting of that NHT building, it will contribute to the 40% energy efficient for the building, increase that 40%, nearly 40% of the energy efficiency of the building. And that means, in terms of the dollars, is $50 million per year. And that's quite a lot of money, savings of money. So I think we want to send message to every ministry or ministry of buildings and hospitals and schools and all this to get into this retrofitting thing. Hoping that we would be able to put a retrofit kit, that these are the type of retrofitting which you can do on the phase basis to all the existing buildings. And if the NHT takes that into account, and with the help of the IDB, International Development Bank, Inter-American Development Bank, and also the World Bank, if they could contribute towards these things, then we should be able to um, make a tremendous contributions of the housing and energy efficiency and the climate change of the Jamaica. And recently we are um, really in contact with the CARICOM, and CARICOM representatives, energy manager, Dr. Devon Gardner, who was, of course, our previous students in this university, has committed to help us in these directions. CARICOM also has got the same agenda, that to increase the energy efficiency of the built environment all throughout the Caribbean. So if CARICOM helps us, then we should be able to keep this concept of net energy building into the other Caribbean countries. And especially since we are the first one to have this building, we should be able to convince them to do that, to take the same path actually. Um, the what is important to note, that we have been giving lectures on this concept through various meetings to the other countries. Especially we have done that in Antigua and Barbados, and also that the comments which we received from Trinidad and Tobago, that they are very much willing to get into this zero energy buildings things, and their building built environment is highly energy inefficient, and they need to look into it. Although they are rich in terms of the energy because they have got lots of fossil fuels, but their economic situations is very bad because the oil prices has gone down quite a lot. So they have to look into the other ways of energy efficiency. The we are also very much elated in terms of the present Minister of Energy is very supporting us in these directions, and hopefully we will get more support and get these things much more efficiently going. Well, the main one aspects of the buildings I want to talk about is that uh, the main purpose of the building will be to do advanced research on renewable energy and also energy efficiency. Let's say this will be the first one the where we are going to set up this research center, so that scientists from all over the Caribbean can come and do research on this. So they can come on a sabbatical, or they come on a short-term basis, and then do research uh, in that laboratory. So we will have some essential items, equipments, which they could use, and they could bring their own things and then do the research projects. Most of the so we are really looking for initially the energy efficiency, research on energy efficiency, and also we are going to look at the research on the solar panel, solar energy, these things. There are several new items coming out now in the research areas, and we recently had a talk with the visitors from Germany, and they are very interested on collaborating with us. And so that's the one aspect of it. We are going to do it. The second thing we want to look into that the how efficiently the building is performing, and then get a paper on the various aspects of the zero energy buildings in terms of the structure and design aspects, and also in terms of the various aspects of the appliances and the solar um, panels. Uh, these are the main things which you are going to contribute.
So the building is for research purposes mainly, right?
Yeah. And that was meant to be because our research projects was the whole project was a research project,
Right.
and that was the comment from the UNEP experts also, that when you wrote that was.
Okay.
And is the interesting thing is that when we first wrote the project, it was mostly on energy, and they said that they want to combine climate change and energy efficiency together, and that was very interesting in that respect. So when we talk about this energy efficient, ultimate energy efficient building, that means zero energy or energy plus building, they were more interested on these things, and that's why this is the first time that GEF has given that amount of money to the academics for, and so the whole project is a research project